Welcome to the Possible Woman podcast, where we meet incredible women making a difference. Today, we're joined by Kathi McCarty, an inspiring educator and advocate. Kathi is the founder of Meth Toxins Awareness Alliance, where she works tirelessly to protect our homes and businesses from the harmful effects of meth toxins. Imagine discovering that your own property was once a meth lab. And that's exactly what happened to Kathi. In my mind, I'm thinking Breaking Bad, right? So, determined to prevent others from facing similar challenges, she has become a leading voice to raising awareness and preventing meth contamination. Her work has not only educated countless people, but also influenced new legislation in Colorado to ensure safer environments for everyone. So today, join us as we dive into deep into Kathi's journey, her passion for advocacy, and the impactful changes she's making in our communities. Welcome to the Possible Woman podcast, where we empower female entrepreneurs to make their dreams a reality. I'm your host, Sharon Ringer, and you're in the right place if you are ready to break free from the hustle, gain clarity, and find true success in both your business and life. Tired of feeling stuck and overwhelmed by endless advice? I've been there too. After years of trying to figure it out, I realized I needed to get crystal clear on my vision. Now I'm here to help you do the same. Without goals, you don't have direction, and without direction, you won't get to where you want to go. There's a strategy behind setting goals, and once they're set, you'll feel empowered to take action and make real progress. We'll have real conversations with inspiring women sharing strategies and success stories to help you gain clarity, confidence, and overcome self-doubt. So let's get started. It's time to unleash your inner possible woman and make those big dreams happen. Kathi, welcome.
Thank you, Sharon. It's a pleasure and such an honor to be here today.
And I'm excited to have you. I mean, when I first talked to you, oh my God, and you told me that, and I've said it. Like, did you have like a Breaking Bad house, like for real? Like, I just watched the series this past year for the first time. And when you said that, I just kept going back to Breaking Bad, and
Right.
how even the first episode started was them hurrying and running out of this RV that they had because they couldn't be in it, and because of all the to- toxins, right? So I was just
hmm
like, oh my goodness. So when you said that, I was like, oh, I definitely want to hear your journey and your story. So with that being said, let's just dive in, because I want to
hmm
definitely have you share, tell me about your journey leading up to, like us connecting and you becoming part of HERstory Unveiled with the magazine.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes you just can't make this stuff up, right? And it is a little bit of a crazy journey. I'll give you the cliff notes. I lived in the foothills west of Denver in a small community, bedroom community called Evergreen, Colorado, and I lived there raising my family. And back then in 2016, I was in within the throes of a 30 plus year career in lending and banking, living our best lives, raising my daughter had already gone off to college, and I lived in this home in Evergreen with my two teenage sons at the time. I had a serious health event in 2016, and I had to step away from my career. And when I did that, after my youngest went off to college in 2018, I made a conscious decision to temporarily rent out our home uh, for 1 year while I offset some significant costs, medical costs. I did have 4 eye surgeries, and I'm here to say I have only gratitude in my heart that I can see you and I'm driving today. But I did have some serious issues, and I chose to rent out our family home to offset these medical costs and to work on my next chapter. And when I did that, that seemed like a sensible solution to me. Thought I put all the right protections in place, talking to my insurance company, putting a policy to have a tenant in there. I hired a management company. And within 90 days of the management company putting a tenant in place, which was the summer of 2018, I learned that I had what I thought was a minor maintenance issue there. And when I came back to the house, that's when I discovered things going on at the home that were pretty horrific, relating to equipment that I found behind the home. And then ultimately that led to a search warrant inside the home where they discovered the components, the equipment, the chemicals, and over 800 grams of meth inside the home. That All the activities, yeah, all the activities that were going on really did put my neighbors and the whole community at risk as well. So very explosive, very dangerous activity. And this property, one of the unique characteristics of it is that it was a 1956 restored cabin. So it was made of logs and a lot of beams inside and wood, and it didn't have the traditional drywall and things like that where you could. Possible remediation options would be to gut the property and try to build it from the inside that way, but that wasn't an option for this particular property because of the logs and the beams and all the wood components. It's a very porous product, and it was really impossible to get it to be remediated to our state standard here in Colorado.
Wow. So with that being said, like what are some of the, common misconceptions or myths about meth? Like how does it work with the the Meth Toxins Awareness Alliance?
Hmm.
How does
Hmm.
it aiming to dispel or address these misconceptions?
Absolutely. One of the misconceptions that I found out early is that this is not a problem that is where it's usually a low income, high crime, inner city type of activity and impact as far as the contamination that comes from usage of methamphetamine or even ultimately manufacturing. I lived in a very rural bedroom community. I was literally throws away from the local sheriff's substation. It's not also like a Breaking Bad scenario where you're out in the middle of nowhere and you have this autonomy to do what you want and it really doesn't impact others. Um, I I took that information and really built an education platform, an education course called "Impacts of Meth Toxins in Real Estate: Tips, Tools, and Resources." And I teach it as a workshop and a class. To non-professionals also or people in other industries, but I also did get it accredited through our state regulatory agency, our Department of Regulatory Agency's Division of Real Estate, to deploy this particular course that can be anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, 6 modules on many ways to look for the warning signs and how professionals like realtors, property managers, and other affiliates in real estate can educate themselves and then become advocates for their clients in this process of real estate purchasing or buying or selling.
Let's switch it up a little bit and let's
Mhm.
talk about your journey with Her Story Unveiled, because we know that it aims to highlight the achievements of women entrepreneurs. So, what aspect of your story do you hope to resonate with you most with our listeners?
Right. Well, first off, her story unveiled and that experience that I got to share with you in New York City and on Times Square was just a life changing event for me. I'm still reveling in my New York uh, um, gear and just being the energy and the vibe on Times Square and to be um, in company, in community with so many amazing women that you brought together, not just locally, obviously from here, but nationally and even globally was just an extraordinary event. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Um, Based off of that, your question was is please repeat the question. Thank
What
you.
aspect of your story do you hope resonates
Oh,
with our listeners?
right. Obviously, launching it, launching my experience and my story from the Colorado Front Range to much more national and even a global platform, obviously for me is an extraordinary opportunity to bring prevent this topic this unique topic that doesn't get very much conversation at all, and really bring it to the forefront of how truly common it is, and to help save people from the true health and financial impacts that meth toxins has. And beyond that, it's my story is obviously a story of education, and whatnot, and prevention regarding the topic, but it's also a story of resiliency, and that when really tough things happen to us, on how we can really take a really challenging, life-changing event and really turning into something that has a truly global positive impact for everyone. And to me, that has been a gift. That is the gift for me.
Awesome. So, in what ways do you think the initiatives for Her Story Unveiled contribute to empowerment for women in business?
I think it provides a platform that shows us that our voices matter, that we truly have a voice, and that there is an avenue, that there are avenues and individuals that will help us embrace our mission and our passion and our purposes, and really launch that out there, like your platform for Her Story, uh, uh, that will have a positive impact ultimately, for generations to come. It leaves a legacy, and what we do today matters, ultimately for our loved ones, our neighbors, our communities today, but then for generations beyond, our loved ones for generations to come.
Oh, thank you. That's nice. So,
Hmm.
this whole initiative that we've been involved with, it's about celebrating leading women, right? So, can you share a woman entrepreneur who inspires you or influence you personally, professionally?
There have been, ultimately so many that have, given me the vision and the strength internally to really, uh, uh, bring my message out there. You are one of them. You are obviously one of the most recent, visionaries that have influenced me tremendously, so thank you. When you ask that question, one that comes to my mind specifically would be my dear friend and rocket scientist, Dana Kirschmar. She's out of the Colorado Front Range. She has been a rocket scientist literally for years, sacrificing so much for a career that has spanned decades. And she has taken her experience and her journey and the knowledge she has gained, and she's turned it into a platform focused on women and young girls, specifically to embrace the topics of STEM and STEAM, which is sales, technology, engineering, and math, and adding art to it as well. She has developed a program to help embrace and uplift and create avenues for helping those women in those unique, very masculine type of industries. And so she is one that has walked this journey with me from the beginning, and gives me strength and encouragement, and has been a true entrepreneur and mentor.
Awesome. That is so great. Yeah, I love STEAM and STEM. I actually had a
Mhm.
dear friend who was, and hers was actually STEAM with the E to the second power, actually, because she put in entrepreneurship as well. And it was amazing. And the program is Chocolate Chip Association. And I always like to give them a plug because we lost her, the founder, a year and a half ago. And she just was doing so much for these girls. So,
Mhm.
it's been it's the journey of women in technology and
Right.
science has been amazing. I just did an article in the fall issue that was kind of news jacked a little bit because of the whole Barbie, phase,
Mhm.
craze,
Right.
whatever you want to call it. And so while I was doing my research, it was amazing to see how many Barbies there are. And there's a whole segment for STEM or STEAM. And I'm like, now that I'm on board for, because it's because the when Barbie first got started, it was the whole analogy of, it was body image shaming almost, is what I would look at it as, because I mean, I don't know about you, but my body doesn't look like that.
No.
Um, So, and it wasn't perfect. And, so it's like when that it's either you loved Barbie or you hated it. And a lot of parents were hating it because it was giving a lot of, kind of like not stigmas, but I'm trying to look for the word. It was giving like the stereotypes of women should look like that.
Right.
And we all don't look like that. So I loved when they came out with more Barbies that were full figured and Barbies that looked more even like myself, so or even like the American Doll, same thing. When we start embracing all of that and bringing in those occupations to show girls that it's possible. It's like, I just love that. So I'm really excited about hearing that your friend is, rocket science and basically spearheading it and running with that idea of, creating an environment for, young girls to learn from. That's amazing.
And she is. She truly is, and she does it through her time and her talents through leaderships on boards, Wings Over the Rockies. There's scholarship programs through some of these charter schools along the Colorado Front Range here. I highly encourage people to find Dana Kirchmar and follow her on LinkedIn or some of those other social channels. She's incredible.
Nice, nice. So my last question for you is looking ahead, what do you hope the legacy of Her Story Unveil will be for women in business? Like what would you like to see that how that unfolds?
Unfolds for women generally or specifically myself?
Women in business.
Women in business, I think it's a tremendous platform to be able to give you the tools, the tips, the tools, the resources, and really truly that visionary platform to take your whatever you envision, whatever you're following, whether it's a coaching program or a brick and mortar type of situation, products, services, whatever it is. Her story has been I see the vision that it is a great tremendous launching pad and a process that you can go through to really get to that next level, whatever it is of what it is you've created for yourself and that you see for launching out into the universe. It's phenomenal.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that. So Kathy, if someone wanted to connect with you, how could they reach you? And of course we'll have it in the show notes, but how could they
Ab-
reach?
Absolutely. Well, we have a website, Meth Toxins plural alliance.com. And I'm on the pretty standard social channels, a lot in LinkedIn under my name, as well as the organization has a page, but just my name, as well as Facebook and Instagram and things like that. And my email, I welcome people to call or email me. I'd welcome a conversation on how we can collaborate, either as professionals or individuals. I have found when I host these classes, I start out by saying, asking the question, how many people have been impacted either professionally or personally that are in the room? And it's pretty standard across the board that 25 to the 30% of the people in the room have had some sort of impact related in their lives to meth toxins through a friend or a loved one or a professional transactions. So it's out there a lot. We just don't hear about it very much. So I welcome people to reach out and let's just have a chat.
Awesome. Awesome. So thank you so much, Kathy, for today. This was quite informative. Not your normal podcast, that's for sure.
No.
But it's like, the thing is, it's like I feel like we need to be able to share all voices, not
Hmm.
just not that this wasn't pretty, but not the pretty ones. This is
Right.
not a pretty conversation.
No.
In the respect of, I mean, you lost your home.
Hmm.
There's so much ugliness about that scenario, and unfortunately there's not enough talk about it. So it's like I'm glad that we were able to have that conversation here, because I really think that the awareness alone, I mean, and I'll just share really quick. You had told me about how one of your kids was looking at a condo, and you
Hmm.
did the test and found out that while the levels were not that high, meth had been used in that apartment or condo. And it's like, we don't know what we don't know. So it makes me even step back and be like, wow, I never thought about, crap, if I'm staying in an Airbnb,
Hmm.
I don't even know to check it.
Right, and, you're absolutely right, and actually, at that time, 2 of my kids were looking at different properties, and one was a condo and the other one was a home in a subdivision, and the levels were very low, but it was very obvious that in the ductwork needed to be clean, and in the home, the property showed some very low levels, traces of toxins that had been somewhere probably used previously, and the ductwork was filthy. So you're absolutely right. The other thing that I didn't mention, there's just not enough time here, but why it so resonates with me, Sharon, and it did at time when I mentioned it to you, is insurance will probably not cover it. Our homeowners policies don't cover this. So I had, at my stage, I was looking to have this home paid off in less than in single digits, and have a home in my retirement that was paid free and clear, and I did lose all my equity. And that's just the realities of this, that I try to
Right.
put a positive spin on a really sad situation. It's not sexy, but it's needed, and that's why I feel very honored, and feel like this is a gift that my background has brought this information to the forefront. That I'm the person that could do that. So thank you for bringing that.
Oh no, I mean,
Appreciate it.
for me, when you told me, I'm like, we need to educate a lot of us. I mean, so as a small business owner, it's like if I wanted to contemplate, doing something like having a bed and breakfast or having an Airbnb, and I rent out my home, this is my business.
Hmm.
And then someone abuses that, because how do we monitor it completely?
Right.
Especially if they're just using and not even, they're not built, they're not like creating the product there, right? So,
Right. And
but it,
usage.
but it's just simple usage. And of course, Breaking Bad, it definitely put, a light on the different things of how it can happen. But I just look at it as, how do we educate those that are, long, as we said it, long and short term rentals? How do we educate them to help them? Basically, your sorry to say, your demise is someone else's savior.
Absolutely.
And
And that
how do
mhm.
we take that and educate them so that they can do that? Like, how do we get in front of the realtors so that they can help the people that are looking to buy homes? That,
Mhm.
like, just all of that just went through my head when we were even writing the article. I'm like, you need to talk about, and I know that, technically, saying the words, Airbnb or Verbo, it's like from a positive standpoint, because I love Airbnbs.
Me too.
I
Mhm.
love them. And because it's, no offense, it's better than any hotel, because I just have my own privacy. But
Right.
now, now I have to worry. So it's like this, something as simple as a smoke detector. How do we get it where a commoner, someone like myself, go into an Airbnb and check it beforehand? Because if I come up with numbers, I got to call them and say, hey, listen, I can't stay here.
Right.
Autoimmune issues. We wonder why our kids are sick. So, I mean, again, we were ending the episode and we got started all over again. Um,
We could do another episode for sure, and
so,
and
so
and you bring that up, and that's one of the things as far as prevention that I've evolved to, is representing a meth alarm that won't keep it from happening, but at least it may pick up the residues when they're airborne early on, instead
right.
of 90 days later, like it did in my home, where my home was destroyed. If I would have had that alarm initially, then I would have been notified right away, and there may have been obviously more opportunity to engage in some behave, just to get them out of there, and deal with law enforcement from that respect. So you're absolutely right. We could go on, and that's why I want people, just call me. Let's have a conversation, and we could talk more for prevention. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So thanks again for being here, Kathi. This was really, really informative. And I think that it's going to bless a lot of people in the long run, especially entrepreneurs, even, and the families, and just as a whole, people as a whole,
Hmm.
because we don't know what we don't know until we do. So
And
you,
that's why we're here. Yes.
right, definitely spearheading this. You're taking it at the helm, and you took one for the team. Now it's time to see that, reap the rewards of seeing the progress that can be made with this, especially because you're taking it to a level that, most people be afraid to do. So it's like,
Right.
kudos to you. So thank you for all that you do. I feel like I'm talking to, military now. I was like, thank you for your service. But thank you for, not wallowing and being the strong woman that you are, and with all of the adversity that you've gone through, and you're still pushing through. So that says so much. You are the possible woman, and I'm so glad that you've been part of this journey. And again, I'll put all of your information in the show notes. So if you guys want to get in touch with her, that's where it'll be. And just Kathi, thank you again.
Thank you. The honor is all mine. This is a gift for me to be here with you and
As it is
share her
mine.
story and Possible Women magazine. Thank you so much, Sharon.
No, thank you. So if everyone, make sure that keep following us, check it out. There's other amazing women that are part of it, and thank you for being here. So I look forward to talking to you guys again with another guest. So have a good one. Bye bye.